Hey guys, welcome back to the Trucking Expat. I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching my videos. Special thanks to the subscribers. If you're new here, basically what I do is talk about Crete, traveling, gonna dabble in some retirement, maybe some stock market, stuff like that. But basically today, I want to give you a 30-day review. I've done 4 straight full weeks with Shaffer now. So I have my notes. No BS, no blowing smoke. Just tell you how it is, my opinion from my experience with them so far. Overall, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy. So, basically, I have run 12 loads. Well, I'm on my 12th one right now, and it's going to be delivered tomorrow, so it'll be 12 full loads in the first 4 weeks. Averaging a little over 1,000 miles average length of haul. Just shy of 13,000 miles. It's like 12,890 something. So doing pretty good. Easily be able to get the bonus, 4 cents per mile bonus every quarter. Believe it or not, in the first month I've already done 14 states, and we're not talking about the Northeast little tiny states, all pretty much central out west. I've been running some miles. Loving it. But anyway, let's see. First off, I do want to point out some issues. Oh, before I go any further with that, let me say I've been bringing home on average about $1,700 a week. So, not too bad. I've made more, but I'm happy with it. With the amount of running I'm doing, they're not pushing me to where I'm dog tired, but they're not giving me a bunch of time on these loads. You know, you got some time, but not a lot. But plenty of time to stop and do laundry, stopping at Walmart and shop, get your showers every day. Now, they tell you in orientation, or at least in my experience, they told us in Wilmer, Texas orientation, that don't split sleeper. I've never heard of that with a reefer. So as soon as I got in the truck, I called my dispatcher. They call them asset managers. Called my asset manager and said, hey, this is reefer. I got a split sleeper, man. I know how this works. He was like, oh, yeah. You just got to call this number and they'll hook up your logbook. And I called the number. We went on the computer here, the tablet, and did a few things, and bam, now my logbook's set up for split sleeper, and I've been doing it ever since. So all's good in that department. But for some reason, maybe because a lot of people don't know how to do it, or they screw up, maybe in the dry van division they don't need to do it. I don't know. But I know in reefer, you really need to be able to split sleeper if you need to. It helps a lot. So, now, I got some issues and I got some positives. Got a few issues, but nothing major. Nothing, in my opinion, nothing major. I haven't had an issue getting paid except for one thing. On one trip, I had 3 stops. 2 stops and then the consignee. I scanned it all in, but for some reason it wasn't on my check. 2 of the 3 lumper stops. They didn't reimburse me. Or not really technically reimbursed. They took it out my check. And they weren't supposed to, because they pay for it. But when I send in a receipt, they're supposed to make sure it doesn't come out my check. But it came out my check. So that really wasn't their fault though, because when I look back, they sent a message and said, hey, the receipts were not, they were blurry. They were not visible. So I went back and looked at my email, and sure enough, those 2 receipts were kind of blurry. You couldn't tell exactly how much it was. So I can't fault them for that. It was on my next check. I just simply rescanned the receipts, made sure that they were visible, legible, and they paid me, no problem. No issues whatsoever. Another thing, in the 4 weeks straight, 12 loads that I've done, they say there's a 60% drop and hook, 60% average drop and hook for the reefer division. In my experience, it's been a little higher than that. Very seldom have I live loaded and live unloaded. It's either pick up a preloaded trailer or a drop and hook on the other end. I've had 2 loads that were preloaded trailer and drop and hook. So you can really make some money doing those. Now, if I sped up, I could have made an extra load or an extra 2 loads easily. But I'm getting older. I basically live in the truck. I have no bills except for my cell phone, my pickup truck, insurance, small stuff. Very little bills, so I don't really care. Most of my money goes straight into retirement. I'm preparing for retirement. But where was I going with that? But they do, in my experience, has been more drop and hook and loading preloaded trailers. Right now I'm in Bennett, Colorado. Loaded this, it was a live load in Lamb Weston was the name of the company over there in Idaho. What was the name of that freaking town? American Falls, Idaho. Loading a frozen load at a Lamb Weston, and it's going down to Fort Worth, Texas. Not a bad load, almost 1,400 miles. That's another thing that they don't pay. They don't pay HHG miles. They pay practical miles, so it's almost right on every time. Close to being hub miles, or in my experience, it always has been. It delivers in Fort Worth. I'm at Bennett, Colorado at the Loves, finishing up my break here in a few more hours, and then boogie tonight. Be down there, Fort Worth, bright and early in the morning. Now, the other issue I had, which then again, to me is a non-issue, the fuel solution. They send you a fuel solution based on the route, blah, 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 where they want you to fuel. And now they've actually added this week one for the reefer also. Not that big a deal. They usually, most loads that I do that are about 1,000, 1,500 miles only have 2 fuel stops. One is usually in a more expensive state and you're just getting enough, but it's enough to make sure that you get a shower credit, but that you get enough to get to where it's a little cheaper. No big deal. It helps save money, which boosts the profit sharing bonus, so I'm okay with that. Anything that makes me a little money, I'm okay with that. Plus, it actually gets me out of the truck more. Most of my career, I have been a keep the left door closed and boogie. Now, of course, it was easier on paper logs, but this gives me a chance to actually keep myself a little more healthy. Get out once in a while I try to stop now every 400 or 500 miles. Sometimes a little less, depending on how I feel. Get out, walk around, get the circulation flowing in the legs. I'm not going to have no issues, man. I'm in good health. I want to keep it that way for when I retire. I plan on retiring a little early, but then again, I don't know with this profit sharing. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, but you can also, once you learn the system, you can route yourself. You can go the way you feel you want to go. It's okay. And you can refresh the fuel solution, and they'll do it based on where you're at, how much fuel you got, stuff like that. But it's easy. It's a simple message on the tablet, and it'll send you a new one. Boom, easy. All right. Now, a few positives that... Okay, I already went over the drop and hook thing. Yeah, in my experience, it has been higher. I do like that they have a CAT scale account. Anybody who's used them, they're really nice. Be able to pull up on the CAT scale, do a few things on the phone, boom. Hit the road, gone. They have a blue beacon account. I like that. They do let you wash the trucks. Don't sit. I haven't sat, man. I've always, in my experience, the truck's gonna start opti idle. Oh, there we go. Anyway, I have sat none. Not a minute, except for one load, and that's because while I was waiting for the message to tell me that the load was ready and to go pick it up, the message came across that the load had canceled. Less than 5 minutes later, boom, I had a pre-plan. Went, changed everything, no big deal. Went and did it. It was actually ready earlier than the other one, but ended up being a little bit more miles too, so that's cool. But I have not sat for the other 11 loads. I have a pre-plan before I empty out every time. It's just that one they canceled while I was waiting. I mean, it didn't matter that I was waiting. I was actually on a 34-hour reset, so it's okay. All right. Pretty much, they do really leave you alone and let you do your job, especially if you're not a screw-off. You know, they're big, so you got the benefits kind of like a mega, but I don't classify them as a mega because in my opinion, a mega has students and, you know, trained drivers and stuff like that. There's none of that here. You got to have a year experience to start, so. Excuse me. Oh, man. Oh, that Pilot coffee. Anyway, I do like the fact they got a productivity and safety bonus, and the miles ain't some unreachable, you know. It's not like you got to hit 13,000 miles. Well, let me back that up, because I think for reefer it's 12.8 if I'm not mistaken, but it's not outrageous, you know. I was at one company, it was like 14,000 for the month, which that wouldn't be that big a problem. The problem comes when you start getting close to the end of the month and they start backing your miles off. That's where the problem is. They don't seem to do that here so far. But yeah, it's 12.8, and I think that come down to 12.8 for 12.8. Oh, scratch that. 12.8. Where am I getting 12.8 from? I think 12.8 a month. 12.8 a month. No? I don't know. There goes my mind again. Honestly, I don't know why I got 12.8 in my mind. Maybe it is 12.8 a month. But I know it's so much for the quarter, which you divide it up. And I think it was, man, I'm having a brain fart like something serious. But I remember figuring it up, and you get a driver scorecard that they update, you know, I think twice a month or something like that. Mine said that I was way ahead, but it was something pretty easy. I remember, you know, dividing it down to to weekly, and I think it was 2,400 miles a week. And if you can't do that, maybe you should try something other than trucking. That's 6 days at 400 miles a day. That's nothing. That's really nothing. Easily attainable bonus. Sorry about all that brain farting crap. My mind's on going to get something to eat, and then getting my butt down, going down here to Lyman and hitting 287 on down to Texas. So bear with me on that. I think I covered most of it. If you have any questions, any comments, you want to tell me how stupid I am or how retarded I am. Oh God, wait, that's not politically correct nowadays. Yeah. Oh well. Just leave some comments down below. I'll read them, and I'll probably laugh, or if it's a question, I'll answer it to the best of my ability. I don't know about the dry van side, but I can find out any question you have, and it can't be much different. There's, some small differences. Like, they of course get paid just a little bit less based on your experience and all that, verifiable experience. Basically, I think that I hit all the points that I wanted to hit. 13,000, I'm just under 13,000 miles for the month, for the 4-week period that I was driving. I think the last week of that was September. So let me verify that. I'm gonna make sure. 1, 2. Yeah, the first week and a half of that was September. So I don't really count it October's monthly miles. So but I'm on schedule to easily get it. It's not that hard, pretty easy. But if you have any questions, just leave them down below. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Just bear with me. I plan on updating the review. I want to update it. I did the 30. I want to do a 60, a 90, a 180, and then after a year. And then I'll probably just do it annually. So in between there, I'm gonna buy a new camera and set it up. I'd like to get a few things on camera to show some of the newbies, new guys that are new to trucking, let them see a few things. But I do have footage of drones, and I'm thinking about putting one of those on there. It may not fly, everybody might just not watch it. Who knows? I don't really care. This channel is more for fun and information and just hanging out for all I give a rip. Because I plan on one day starting up lives and stuff like that. But until then, it's just gonna be laid back. I don't give a rip. I'm not trying to make no money. Don't care about any of that. It's more or less to have fun. So y'all be straight. Be safe out there. Make them loads. If you need a referral to Crete, just put my driver code in there, or just leave your name and all that, or you can email me with your name and phone number and all that, and I'll just forward it to the recruiter. It's no big deal. But y'all be safe out there. We'll talk to you later. Bye.